Hello, everyone. Welcome to Panama Mule Live with your host, Janetta, this afternoon here in Panama. I say good morning because this is stream in the morning, but as you know, things happen and I'm trying to stretch myself, people, stretch myself. And I decided to still come on. I said, no, I am not going to not come on today on Sunday, but it's a little bit after the time that I usually come on. So how are you doing? How was your week? Bienvenidos a Panamá Mule en vivo. Hoy es un bonito domingo. En ciertos lugares todavía están en la mañana y aquí en Panamá estamos después del mediodía, pero siempre tenemos una conversación bonita en inglés y español, pero yo creo que voy a hacer esta parte esta parte en inglés, la mayor parte. Entonces, bueno, únanse a la conversación de hoy, que va a ser acerca de celebrando el mes de la historia negra en los Estados Unidos. Y por supuesto aquí en Panamá tenemos tantas historias lindas de los afrocaribeños que hicieron tanto para este país y alrededor del mundo, por supuesto. Entonces, agarran su taza de té, si todavía están en la mañana donde estén, o café, y únanse a esta linda conversación de hoy. Join this conversation, wonderful conversation, wherever you are. It's probably still morning, but here in Panama it's an afternoon. So just grab your cup of coffee, tea, juice, whatever you're drinking, and join this lovely conversation that we will discuss a little bit about Black History Month and the importance of knowing your heritage. Hello, everyone. How are you? Listen, this week was hectic for me. I don't know how was your week. Just chat, let me know. But first, before we get into casual conversation and topic of today, let me tell you the weather. First of all, today is February 8th, 2026. It's 84 degrees Fahrenheit, mostly sunny, feels like 87 degrees, precipitation 5%, winds 60 miles per hour. That's the weather today in Panama. El clima en Panamá hoy es 84 grados Fahrenheit. La mayor parte es sunny. Listen, sometimes I miss words and I'm like sunny, uh, whatever, and I try to catch the words, but es parcialmente esto con el soleado, soleado, that's the word, soleado. Y se siente como 87 grados. Precipitaciones 5%, vientos 16 millas por hora. So there you go. Ahí está el clima de hoy en Panamá. Hoy es el 8 de febrero 2026. Ya estamos en febrero, mi gente. Carnavales, ya tú sabes, en la otra vuelta de la esquina. Así que no sé, yo escuché que los carnavales va a ser en la cinta costera y va a llegar todo hacia Casco. Así que eso va a ser algo diferente, un poco diferente, pero esto siempre carnavaleando a la gente también se puede ir al interior, a la playa, donde quieren estar. Gracias, los thumbs up. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for watching my program today. Well, we're in Black History Month in the United States. And of course, United States and Panama, why not? I mean, we practically Panama, the birth of Panama could not have been possible without the United States. It could have been possible, but in a different direction. But let's be honest, okay? From the beginning, United States was involved in Panama. So why not talk about a little bit about the U.S. history, Black history, right, which is in February, and a little bit specifically one person I want to mention in this Black History Month in the United States. And of course, they celebrate, I'm quite sure, all over the world. And that's the beauty of it. So, and I want to keep thanking you guys for all the comments that you've made. And let me see if I put this here. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yes. And thank you for the thumbs up. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about our history. Okay. I bought this many years ago. If you can see it, it has a lot of images on it. And it's important for us to at least take a brief look at what we have accomplished. And the first lady that comes in mind is Shirley Chisholm. And one of her quotes, she said, "We will no longer be denied our rights as human beings, equal in all respect to males." She broke the barrier, people. Shirley Chisholm, here she is. Yeah, she is. So in the back, briefly, it says, in 1968, Shirley Chisholm became the first Black woman to be elected to the United States Congress. In 1972, she became the first Black woman to be a candidate for the Democratic presidential nominee. Did you know that? Okay. During her tenure in Congress, she sponsored programs for minority education and introduced legislation for publicly supported daycare centers. Very important. Her philosophy was that Black people need vocational education, access to higher learning, and good business counseling if they are to participate fully in economic and political life. Are we doing that today? Yes, we are. After 15 years in Congress, she announced in 1982 that she would return to private life. At that time, she was a member of the powerful House Rules Committee and secretary of the House Democratic Caucus. Chisholm, born in New York in 1924, was one of the three daughters of West Indies immigrants. We're talking about Caribbean people. When she was 3, her parents sent her back to Barbados. Hello, Barbados in the house. To live with relatives until they could become financially secure. She returned to the United States at age 11 and attended grade school and high school. With the aid of scholarships, she graduated from Brooklyn College and earned bachelor's and master's degrees in elementary education from Columbia University. Columbia University is well recognized. Chisholm was a nurse, a nursery school teacher, director of a daycare center, and a consultant of the New York Department of Social Services before entering politics. I mean, this is one woman to take notes. People take notes. So I love Black History Month for that same reason. To educate, inform, bring awareness, to motivate us to continue the good work that we have been doing around the world. And Panamanians, we don't stay back. Panamanians, we don't stay back, people. We talking about Uber Woods, who had a lot of influence in lobbying for uh, Uga Wood later is his name, um, who lobbied for the turnover of the canal, right, during the 70s. So these are very important people. We also have Sidney Young, who had his own newspaper, the Panama Tribune, and he was the editor of that newspaper, and giving us all the information regarding everything that was happening with Caribbean Afro Americans around the world, and bring that information to us. Isn't that wonderful? And many other, I could mention a whole list, people. Marcus Garvey family lived here. As you know, Marcus Garvey believed in Pan-Africanism, and so much more contributions Blacks have done around the world. I want to inform you, I want to let you know that I had a special conversation with Nidia Thomas Garvey. She has so much to offer. And let me give you a little bit about who she is. Very interesting conversation I had with her, and that will be coming out soon. Look out, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I will be adding that on Facebook as well. But I just wanted to give you, show you a picture of who I'm talking about. Wonderful lady, wonderful lady. And I'm going to give you a little bit about her information. Very powerful woman. So let me start. Let me start by giving you an intro on her. I'm so proud of her work, and her contribution, of course, and her family contribution to history. I have her on my panamamule.com website. You could read about her. She loves writing articles. She loves writing. Uh, so you could look her up. You could look her up on my website under panamamule.com under notes. She shared notes. I get the permission to put it up on my website so you guys could read it. Very interesting. But let me read a little bit about her. Let me read so you can know who I'm talking about. Okay. Nidia Thomas Garvey is a native Texan whose family's presence in Panama goes back to the early days of the construction of the Panama Canal and nationhood of the Republic. Her love of family history stems from a genuine fascination with her parents' stories and images of life on the isthmus in the early 20th century. Nidia is an attorney and professional presenter working in juvenile justice, where she focuses on youth advocacy and policy reform. Alongside that work, she has always been drawn to storytelling, history, and collective memory. As founder of the Lexigi LLC, she has created an umbrella for her creative pursuits to write stories. Check them out. Check out one of the stories on my website, panamamule.com, under notes. So she created an umbrella for her creative pursuits to write stories, create music, and explore other multimedia projects, including her recently launched Substack named The Rememberers Journal. and also on YouTube, guys, or YouTube channel, the Genealogy Listening Room. I'm telling you, I heard it. I love it. I want you guys to listen. If you ever wanted to listen to something that is inspiring, educational information, and the words are just put into this nice music, different melodies, different genre. They have a little bit of reggae, tropical music, salsa, a little country, uh, a little R&B, a little soul. You have to listen to it. The genealogy is awesome. Okay, so her latest content project is called Ancestries with a Groove, which uses music to explore genealogy in a way that makes family history more accessible to everyone. What I'm trying to tell you, do you know your history? Do you know your mother, your father background? Do you know your great grandmother background? What country did she come from? What island is she's from, or he's from? Well, I can tell you um, that Nita definitely nailed it. She used all platforms to um, to share her history. Yes, she did. That's one of her articles. Milton Garvey, a case study of West Indian culture and labor here in Panama, in the United States. That's Black history, people. As I mentioned before, Miss Thomas, she was born in the United States. Her background is Caribbean Panamanian. As I said before, Panamanians and the Caribbeans, we have contributed a lot around the world. And there's so much more that we have done that is not often uh, presented or shared with others. So I'm using this platform to do just that because I think it's very important to do that. My Let me just put up also my great grandfather. This is my history as well, and I'm telling you, I'm encouraging you guys to learn your history. My great grandfather, Percy Eugene Archibald Hines, he came to this country, Panama, the Isthmus of Panama, to build the Panama Canal. That's him on your left, if you're looking at your screen. And he came to work on the Panama Canal. I said build the Panama Canal because that's the way I like to say it. And there's my grandmother in the center, seated, and my great grandmother in the middle, and my great uncle on my right, if I'm looking at the picture. He came, worked on the Miraflores locks. He then left, went to Brazil, came back, and worked at the Panama Canal Administration building. Do you see what I'm saying here? I am gathering information just like Nidia. But the thing here with Nidia, she has used many platforms, and she have dug in depth about who she is and where she came from and her history. Each one of us uh, should 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 really look into where we came from and all of the rest. Marie Reyes, thank you for listening. How are you? We're talking about history, very important history that a lot of people should document. A lot of people should document. So look at those pictures, and I have more information, of course, um, that I would like to put everything together. And media has done that. She's an example. I encourage you to truly uh, look up her information, and I will be putting that interview shortly on YouTube and on Facebook. So look out, check out the YouTube and Facebook information regarding Nydia Thomas Garvey. Very interesting. We are celebrating Black History Month. Certainly, we have history connection with Panama and the United States, no doubt. No doubt. We are all connected, all connected in so many different ways. I want to also just mention, since we're talking about United States History Month, there are so many history that we should uh, put out there. Okay. First of all, let me show you something else right here. Okay. Carter Woodson. This is Carter Woodson. Here it is. Carter Woodson. Again, these I purchased many years. I'd say like maybe 2 decades ago, maybe more. Truly, maybe more. And I liked it, and I said, let me just have it here on my desk in my office. Carter G. Woodson, the race needs workers, not leaders. Such workers will solve the problems which race leaders talk about. Now, Carter Woodson is known as the father of Black history. Very important. That's what we're celebrating. And was responsible for making Black studies an academically respectable field of study. Born in 1875, he grew up in abject poverty. He taught himself to read and write and did not receive formal education until his late teens. He graduated from high school in 1896 and taught school for the next 15 years while continuing graduate study. He earned a bachelor's degree and a master's degree from the University of Chicago and a PhD from Harvard. I mean, these are highly educated folks. Harvard, Harvard back then was Harvard. Okay. This is the person you need to know. There he is. This is the person I'm talking about. He served as a dean of liberal arts at Howard University. This is all Black university, and at West Virginia State College. He retired from teaching in 1922 and devoted himself to encouraging the study of Black history. So this is the man that created Black History Month, Carter G. Woodson. And why we ask ourselves, why is it so important? Why is it so important to talk about Black History Month? Well, let me tell you. The same way other cultures, other races, other countries, other groups, ethnic groups talk about their history, their contribution to the world, so does Afro Blacks need to tell their history. And you don't need to start uh, by going to school and learning. Start your history, your Black history in your family. Just go to your mom, then you go to your dad, and then you go to your grandma, and then you go to grandpa, and then you go to great grandma, and then you go to great grandpa. Go to aunts, uncles, go to grown ups who will tell you about who you are and where you came from and what country, if there's a country, or what area of the world, whatever. You need to take that information and jot it down. Not only where you came from or who you are, but you need to know what were your values, right? What are the values that you passed down? Your values, your beliefs. What do you believe? What your grandmother used to say to you? What were the phrases? What your mom used to do when you were younger? Did your mom braid your hair? Did she talk about the meaning of being a Black woman or Black man? Did she talk about the DNA? Did she talk about the strength? Did she talk about the weaknesses that were in the family? These are your history. These are your story. And no one else can tell you about who you are. Whether you're Chinese, Indian, American Indian, okay? Whether you are part of a tribe in Africa, whether you're from a country, doesn't matter. You need to document, write down everything, how to bake a cake, how to sew. Last month, I was teaching the children, in February, yes, last month, January, because we had 2 weeks summer camp, real quick. And they learned how to make yo-yo circles. And I taught them yo-yo circles based on a story written by Melba Goodin and another author. I can't remember his name right now. We should be giving credit, of course. But she put in there how to make yo-yo circles. So I thought that would be fun for the children. And they didn't have fun making them. I have pictures of that as well. But these things are very important, not only documenting the way your grandmother used to make the soup or bread, okay, a lot of or pasta, or how to make the tea, how you were out there in the field, how the grandmother or great grandparents used to be out there in the field, what they used to use for medicine to cure certain illnesses. Back then, they didn't rush to the doctor like we do now for a little simple headache. They had home remedies. What were some of the home remedies that you could remember? What were some of the cereals that you eat in the morning? What were some of the bushes you used to, use to cure? I mean, all these things should be documented. All these things are your history and should be documented. La historia de tu cultura, de tu familia, no es algo que vas a la escuela a estudiar, es algo que comienza desde tu persona. Trata de averiguar de dónde viniste, de tus abuelos, de tus tatarabuelos, bisabuelos, tatarabuelos, de dónde vinieron y llegaron a Panamá, cuándo trajeron sus culturas, ¿verdad? Tenés que saber sus culturas, trajeron medicinas, trajeron sus costumbres, ¿verdad? Muy importante documentar eso. Entonces, aquí o en esta plataforma, hoy día estoy hablando acerca de la historia negra de los afros que están celebrando en el mes de febrero en los Estados Unidos y, por supuesto, los Estados Unidos y Panamá siempre han estado unidos desde el principio en muchas cosas. Panamá creció, ¿verdad? Y fue reconocido en el mapa desde el inicio por los Estados Unidos y yo diría la unión esa, ¿verdad? en hacer un Panamá en que ahora estamos viviendo y ahora estamos disfrutando. Bueno, los afrocaribeños, los negros del Caribe, tuvieron un rol muy importante durante la construcción del Canal de Panamá, que a veces no enseñamos esta historia de este punto de vista, de esa perspectiva, que es muy importante que usamos varias plataformas, como lo está haciendo la licenciada Nidia de Tamas, como yo le estaba aplicando anteriormente en inglés. Nidia es una abogada en los Estados Unidos y se ha dedicado a hacer sus investigaciones acerca de su historia y lo ha documentado como a través de plataformas inteligencia artificial, en música, en escribiendo lecturas acerca de su historia y la contribución de su familia. Una familia, le digo que es una familia muy, muy educada, una familia que ha contribuido a la historia. Oigan lo que le estoy diciendo, ha contribuido a la historia de Panamá. Vean esa lectura, esa escritura que ella me ha dado la oportunidad, el permiso para ponerlo en mi página web, en panamaview.com, bajo notes. Van a ver la historia de Nidia Thomas Garvey. Muy importante el rol que tuvo la familia de ella aquí en el Istmo de Panamá. Ella nació en los Estados Unidos, pero sus raíces son caribeñas y su historia aquí en Panamá es muy fuerte. Tienen que verlo, tienen que leer más de Nidia Thomas Garvey. So that's why it's important for us to have our own history. We are historians in our family. Find somebody that likes history in your family to document everything. Put it on electronically, have it on file. Just preserve that history because we don't just exist. We are part of making a country, building a country and making it better. And making it better. So I have said this to you. And of course, Rosa Parks. I couldn't leave out Rosa Parks. There's so many more, and I'm going to be going through them throughout the month. Maybe I have 3 more Sundays, 2 more Sundays. Rosa Parks. Rosa Parks is instrumental. Before her was another lady that refused to give up her seat in the bus. And so, but that wasn't as impacted as Rosa Parks because here comes Martin Luther King, a young pastor back then that helped in the protests and the walks and the everything regarding civil rights. Rosa Parks, one of Rosa Parks' quotes were, "I want to help. Young people grow, develop, and reach their potential." I kind of, wow. I'm doing that right now as we speak, but she says it all. She says it all. Okay, let's talk a little bit about Rosa Parks. That's Rosa Parks. Rosa Parks stepped into history on December 1st, 1955, in Montgomery, Alabama, when she refused to give up her bus seat to a white passenger. She was arrested, jailed, and tried. Remember, there's good, what they call it, well, what's the guy's name? Good Trouble. I will get you his name maybe later, but he used to say Good Trouble. He passed away. He was also an activist and civil rights. He was part of the civil rights movement with Martin Luther King as well. So if you know what I'm talking about, let me know because let me see. Okay. I have comments here. but I cannot see them. So let me see if I could do something here. Oops. I hope I don't move you guys. Show, 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 show. Let me see. Show comments and state. Let me see if I do that. Oh yeah, there it is. There it is. I can't see them right now, but they will come up as we go along. Okay, so Rosa Parks. Uh, the indecent led to the incident led to the year-long boycott of the Montgomery bus system by blacks who demanded an end to segregation on buses. The success of the boycott, which was led by Martin Luther King Jr., intensified the struggling civil rights movement. Following the 1955 incident, Park's husband became ill and she lost her job as a tailor's assistant. But she continued to be actively involved in the boycott and as a civil rights activist. 2 years later, she and her family moved to Detroit, where she resumed her work as a seamstress. She then joined the staff of John Conyers Jr., a Democratic member of the U.S. House of Representatives. Parks, sometimes called the mother of the civil rights movement, won the NAACP Spingham Medal in 1979 for her contributions to civil rights. The Southern Christian Leadership Conference sponsors an annual Rosa Parks Freedom Award. She was born in Tuskegee, Alabama, February 14, 1913, and grew up in Montgomery. She attended Alabama State College. This is Rosa Parks. Again, it's wonderful when we can share history. It doesn't matter what history, where you're from. It doesn't matter what color you are. You need to preserve history. You need to. It's very, very, very important. Very important. I encourage you to do what Nidia Thomas Garvey is doing. I started doing mine. I put mine up in videos. I have it in videos. I talked about my great grandfather, Percy Eugene Archibald Hines, who also lived in the same street Miss Nidia Garvey family lived on as well. So we had Garveys in 13th Street, Rio Bajo. And my great grandfather purchased this property. I still have it. This is where Panama Studios is right now, currently is. I'm live streaming, sharing my history. And I'm telling you, I don't see myself selling this property. I don't see myself doing anything else but have it as Panama Muse Studios. And of course, other additions to it later on. But that's all in the plans in the works. But it preservation. We talked about the CGM cemeteries. I mean, there are three, and a lot of people don't see the significance, the importance of preserving those cemeteries. It's very, very important because that is part of history. It is part of history. And we should pass this down to other people that are coming to Panama. There's a lot of people coming to Panama and they don't know our history. They don't know why blacks are here, when they came. As you know, they came different periods to Panama for different things. Okay, railroad, banana, canal, you name it. Historians will tell you that. So I just want you guys to know that um, that you should document. Start now. Gather papers. Don't wait. Don't wait until somebody in your family, pass away that had all that information. Know where your documents are. Know where your important legal papers are. Okay. Share that information with close family members. that in case if something happens to you, they have that information as well. You need to pass down your history. When you pass down your history to the next generation, they will appreciate it and they will have some sense of being belonging, part of Panama and part of the world, because Panamanians have made impact around the world. As I said, I have a list that I will share with you next Sunday of great Panamanians. I mean, I think we should be doing that, the Panamanian and the American Black History Month. Why not? Well, I'm starting it today because I mentioned you, Media Thomas, and I mentioned myself, and I mentioned others very important leaders in the United States that have impacted not only like Martin Luther King Jr. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. had made impact around the world. He has changed a lot around the world. So it's very important for us to stay on that track. Don't listen to the negative things that are going on in the news right now, because it's not educational, number one, and it's not going to do us any good. What's going to do us good is focus on history for it not to repeat itself. Document, 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 document. Teach, teach, teach. Improve, improve, improve. Change, change, change. If you don't like your community, change it. Do little steps to change it. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Okay, so your history and my history need to be told. Everybody's history need to be told. If you're Italian, if you're Jewish, if you're American Indian, if you're an indigenous here in Panama, if you are Chinese, if you're Russian, if you're from Shish, if you're from South Korea, North Korea, wherever you are, you need to document your history. However, I will point this out. Black history is play a key importance in humanity, in the human race. So you need to know that. Black history is no doubt a very important part, plays a very important part in this world. And that's why we need to talk about it. We need to share it. We need to keep it in mind. We need to keep finding more information and putting it out there. It's very important. So, Harriet, I got to talk about this woman. Yeah, we know her face. Harriet Rose Tubman was the most famous conductor on the Underground Railroad. Yes, I need to talk about her. Yes, yes, yes. No doubt. What else we have about her? She was born into slavery around 1820 in Maryland. She received no schooling, worked very hard, and was often a victim of severe punishment. In 1848, she escaped to Philadelphia via the Underground Railroad. Later, she returned to the South 18 times to help hundreds of slaves, yes, hundreds of slaves, escape to freedom. She was never caught, although rewards for her capture once totaled $40,000. Do you know how much that is back then and how much it is now? I'm hearing $5,000, $10,000. $40,000 is a lot of money today for capturing someone. Okay, so she has an abolitionist before the Civil War. She was a nurse and spy. Did you guys know that she was a spy? When I read this several years ago, I'm like, wait a minute, I didn't know she was a spy. I know she helped slaves, and if they knew they were free, she would have helped more. But I didn't know she was a spy. Yes, people, she was a spy. No wonder she had that courageous and way to move, right? Move around without being detected. Very, very good. I love that about her. Okay. She was after the war, she returned to She was a nurse and a spy for the Union Army. After the war, she returned to Auburn, New York, and campaigned for women's rights and helped raise money for Black schools. Campaign for women's rights back then, very, very influential, and helped raise money for Black schools. In 1908, she founded a school for elderly and poor Blacks. Despite her fame and the honors bestowed upon her, she spent her last years in poverty. Isn't that something? Money wasn't an issue, obviously, for her. She helped, and her last years in poverty. Wow. Proceeds from her biography were given to her by Sarah Bradford, author of the book, to help ease her financial distress. She died in 1913. A postage stamp with her portrait was released in 1978. Hello, Juan. Hello, hello. Thank you. Okay, so that's what's going on, people. That's what's going on. Now, we got Rosa Parks, all these nice, wonderful contributors, leaders of in the world that have made an impact in the world. So we have another person which I want to really mention, and I'll leave you with that. Let me talk about Maya Angelou. Maya Angelou, all her poems that I love dearly, of course. Maya Angelou was uh, she reminded me of my great grandmother. Yes, my great grandmother Melin. Melin was a strong woman, no nonsense, but she was also a teacher. She used to teach us things. And aside from discipline, she taught me how to make carrot cake, people. And she also taught me how to make um, um, scabish fish, which she steams it with butter, lime, onions, green peppers if you want to add red peppers, onions, carrots, and all the season, and you just wrap it up and you bake it with some butter. That's the way I was taught how to do scabish fish. Okay. She also showed me how to do zucchini. Zucchini. Saute with some butter, some olive oil, and you put your garlic and of course Parmesan cheese. But the carrot cake, oh my God, I can't give you that recipe, people. Nope, I can't give it to you. It's from my great grandmother. And also, sorry, ginger beer. So I learned these things when I used to go summer to my great grandmother's house in New York. And she taught me all these wonderful meals, of course, discipline, and of course, to be aware of a lot of things. And she was a very tidy and neat person. That house was what they call spick and span, was clean, counter clean, house, just like my mom's house. Clean, clean, clean. My mother would not listen. Let me tell you. Remember, I was telling you about know your history and know your stories and your customs and what you do, your values. Where my mom instilled in us, okay, you must make your bed, fold your clothes, have your room clean before you even could come to breakfast. This was on the weekend, by the way, and Saturdays and Sundays. We could not come to breakfast without taking a shower, making the bed, brushing your teeth. You brush your teeth at night, but you also rinse your mouth in the morning, brush your teeth in the morning, wash your face in the morning before coming to breakfast. House clean, you know, talking about those sergeants in the military. My mother was a sergeant in the house. My father was a sergeant in the house. I think my mother was stricter than my dad. My mom used to say, clean the furniture, hang the clothes on the line, sweep, do the dishes. Oh my God. If you don't do the dishes before she gets home from work, you you will be woken up because she used to work shifts at the hospital. So you will have to get up and wash those dishes. There's no excuse. So that was discipline, people. That's history. That's history. We need to pass down those values, right? Um, those way of life, those stories to do better, to do better. And so um, Maya Angelou reminds me of my great grandmother, Melanie. Maya Angelou is an author, poet, lecturer, playwright, actress, singer, and dancer. She was born on April 4th, 1928, in St. Louis at age 3 after her parents separated. She was sent to live with her paternal grandmother in a segregated town in rural Arkansas. Despite the poverty in which she grew up and a series of personal misfortunes, Angelo has phenomen, phenomenal achievements to her credit. She is fluent in 7 languages. Did you know that? Maya Angelou was fluent in 7 languages. Um, has taught music and drama. Has sung in nightclubs in San Francisco and New York. I didn't know she was a singer as well. And studied dance with Pearl Primus in New York. Angela was nominated for a Tony Award for her performance in Look Away, named Woman of the Year in Communications by Ladies Home Journal, and was nominated for a Pulitzer Prize for her book, Just Give Me a Cool Drink of Water Before I Die. Angela became nationally known in 1970 with the publication of her book, I Know Why Cage Bird Sings, which was a National Book Award nominee. The autobiography recounts her painful experiences with Southern racism. After living in California for many years, she returned to the South, where she is Reynolds Professor of American Studies, a lifetime appointment at Wake Forest University in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Maya Angelou. And many more, many more, many more, many more. But I think I want to do one more because this just drew my attention. It drew my attention. With everything that's going on, we tend to see things done already, but we don't know how it happened. We don't know how it happened, who created it. We don't care. We just use it. Things like traffic lights, things like um, heart transplant, things like the Big Ben clocks. We think that, other cultures created it, but no, it was the Black culture. The Black people are Afro people. Okay, but I want to mention this person. You see this person here? He's George Washington Carver. Remember that name. A distinguished agricultural researcher, George Washington Carver, revolutionized the Southern economy. His development of products from crops such as peanuts and soybeans helped the South shed its dependence on cotton. From peanuts alone, he derived more than 300 products, people. From peanut alone. Among them, soap, ink, flour, dyes, cosmetics, cheese, and milk. He was born a slave in Missouri in 1864. He and his mother were abducted by slave raiders when he was a baby. He was bought back by his owner, but his mother was never found. Isn't that something? Hmm. After emancipation, Carver got a high school education while working as a farm laborer. He became the first Black student to be admitted to Simpson College in Indiana, Iowa. He worked his way through college as a janitor and cook. He earned bachelor's and master's degrees and was hired as an assistant botanist by the college. In 1886, Booker T. Washington offered him a post at the Tuskegee Institute in Alabama, where Carver spent the rest of his life doing research. Carver never patented any of his many discoveries. A lot to learn. Rich, rich Black history, people. Rich Black history. Nobody else can tell our history but us. No one. No one could tell our history but us. I'm going to repeat. No one can tell you your history but you. Document, 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 document everything. Get the names and your great grandparents. Do your research. Travel to their country. Travel to the area they used to live. Take pictures, videos, recording, write them down. Do your research. And when you do that, you share it with others. And so that's what I wanted to talk to you today about, a very important time that we're living in this world, where information is being distorted, where people identity are scarred or labeled. You need to have things that you could show who you are and where you came from. And do not change. Do not change. Stay the same. And each time, make yourself better. Again, we're not perfect. I'm not asking for perfection here. I'm just asking for you to seek who you are and be you. Be gracious. Be sympathetic. Be caring when it's necessary. But you also have to fight for freedom. You have to fight for freedom. And use whatever platform you have to share your history, like Media Thomas Garvey is doing. I had a wonderful interview with her, and I like to say conversation because that's what we had. And she shared information, educational information, to bring awareness that Afro-Caribbean, have been part of not only the United States of America history, but also the history of on the Isthmus of Panama, and of course Caribbean. Of course the Caribbean. But certainly we need to be heard in various platforms. We need to share our history. So I said it. You got it. You got the message. Don't forget to subscribe on my YouTube channel because I will be putting out that conversation I had with Nidia Thomas Garvey shortly. It is a wonderful conversation I had with her. I don't want you to miss. I was sharing it with people that I have on my WhatsApp, but also I want you to look at it when I put it up there, share it with others, and be informed. Be informed. Be informed. Certainly be informed. So I like to, before I finish, I like to talk a little bit about health. That's just me. I like to talk a little bit about health. And that way we don't forget that um, we need to take care of our bodies. We need to be healthy. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about it. Vamos a hablar un poquito acerca de la salud, aparte de preservar nuestra historia. Nuestra historia eh, que tenemos, hay que preservarlo, guardarla, hacer más esto, más, descubrir más, ¿verdad? Descubrir más. Ok, entonces vamos a hablar un poco acerca de la salud. Guys, I like to talk about lemon. Este es otro tipo de limón. Vamos a llamarlo el limón amarillo. Lemon. Wow. You know, I see that all the time in the supermarket, all the time. And I always use it for cooking because it's not that strong as lime, but I like my lemon. I love my lemon. I love my lemon in water, just simple water. Put it on salmon. I had salmon yesterday. You put it on salmon. You put it on fish. You put it in soup. Whatever, just put it in water. Just put it in water. But the lemons are rich in vitamin C, antioxidants, and citric acid, which support immune function, skin's health, iron absorption, and heart health. It boosts immunity and skin health. High in vitamin C, of course, cells. Improves digestion. Lemon juice can kickstart digestion, reduce bloating, and help relieve constipation. A lot of people drink a glass of lime juice or lemon juice before they eat, just in water. Some people drink it as a tea, hot. You could do it any way you want, but it helps your stomach. It helps digestion. Prevents kidney stones. The citric acid in lemons helps prevent the formation of calcium-based kidney stones. Support heart health. Regular intake may lower blood pressure and improve cardiovascular health due to nutrients and antioxidants. Hydration boosts people. Adding lemon to water increases water intake and provides a refreshing, low-calorie beverage option. Antioxidant properties. Polyphenols, polyphenols in lemons help protect cells from damage by neutralizing free radicals. Oh my God, listen, there's no excuse why you cannot drink lemon. It's in the supermarket, it's not that expensive. It's not that expensive, people. So I encourage you to have just a glass of water, or just if you want it warm or hot, do that. Do that. Muy importante. El limón o limón amarillo. Yo prefiero el amarillo porque es menos ácido para mí. Para mí, el sabor es mucho mejor para mí. Hay algunos beneficios, ¿verdad? Las personas que sufren de gastritis podrían beneficiarse, o quienes no lo toleran bien diluido en agua tibia, lo cual puede ayudar a mejorar la digestión. ¿Sabían eso? Es bueno para la piel, por supuesto, la célula, vitamina C. Es bueno para el corazón y reduce la presión. Son algunas cositas que el limón puede ayudar. Ahí está, mi gente, limón en agua, o lo pueden tomar agua caliente, o pueden tomar agua caliente, como quieran. Agua caliente con limón, ahí lo tienen. Yo lo utilizo para el estómago, primordialmente. Yo uso el limón para mi estómago, pero en agua caliente. Mitad de limón amarilla para mi estómago. ¿Qué les parece? Yo tengo un árbol de limón. Yo pensaba que nunca yo he visto eso. Nunca iba a ver ese árbol de limón. Pensaba que 5 años era demasiado para esperar. Y lo sembré en 2021. Y adivinen qué. Primera vez que vi el limón. Pero este es el verde, no el amarillo. Fue el año pasado. Yo estaba llorando, 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 porque ustedes saben que durante la pandemia uno nunca sabía, pues, qué es lo que iba a suceder. Y yo lloré cuando vi ese árbol dar limones. También vamos a hablar de las hojas de limón. Las hojas de limón son excelentes para mejorar la digestión, calmar nervios, reducir la insomnio y aliviar dolores de cabeza o migrañas. ¿Ustedes pueden creer eso? Calmar nervios, reducir el insomnio y aliviar dolores de cabeza o migrañas. Las hojas, las puesto para la digestión, para el sistema inmune también. Miren ustedes. Y no cuesta mucho. Aquí en Panamá, ese tipo de limón, yo creo que dos puede ser menos de $1. Puede ser. Depende de uno vaya a comprar estas cosas. Puede ser 1.20, no sé, pero no es tan carito. O sea, mi gente, comparado a una soda y este algo para la salud, no se estén quejando por el precio. I mean, I think that the price for lemon is pretty good. But anyway, guys, thank you for watching. My battery is going low, and I'll see you guys next time. So, gracias por escucharme. Nos vemos que mi batería está baja. Eso pasa y tengo que conectarla. Así que hasta la próxima. Talk to you guys soon. Bye bye. Thank you for watching.